What is going on, guys? Mobile Carrier News here. And we have this article here that it involves all three carriers, Verizon, T-Mobile, and At&t, how everyone is basically a winner in 2021 coming up. So basically, it's saying how every carrier is good for the meantime with their 5G network. Here are some strengths and weaknesses that we are going to discuss. If we scroll down here to the article, you can see an ad there. Mind the ad. It's of course a Verizon ad. This article is basically saying that root metrics. Everyone knows what root metrics is, and they're basically upgrading their tracking and everything of what the carriers are doing and how they're handling 5G, as we're literally in the middle of 2021. If we scroll down here, you can read some words here, and it says it's pretty early to see where the networks are, and everyone is saying here everyone's a winner. It's obviously saying that the networks are on the right track on who has better 5G. Now, it's honestly a mixed opinion here when you scroll down and read this article right here. I do honestly believe everyone is a winner, and surprisingly, because T-Mobile bought Sprint or merged, I think they do have a good step towards climbing, the ladder with the two carriers. I wouldn't say T-Mobile can be number one in like a year or two. They have to pump up their capex. They have to spend more money. You know how T-Mobile is. You have to spend more money. You have to honestly improve more your towers, because I don't think they're improving enough of their towers. It took them literally 6 months to cover not all of my area with 5G, but I'm finally starting to see purple shades of 5G because I use Coverage Map with my speed test. I use that. I also use the speed test app as well, but mostly Coverage Map. And so far, my area is doing pretty good. I would, because I live close to the beach. I wouldn't say my coverage is very good down at the beach. That's why I prefer LTE, and then up here 5G. But I'm scrolling down through here. And it says here that T-Mobile is ahead of the competition. Now, when I read that, I start thinking, okay, they're ahead of the competition for now, but in the short term, they might not be so good, because AT&T is obviously cranking up the speed and tune-ups with their 5G. Also, AT&T as well. But in the long term, I do believe they have a chance. If T-Mobile can spend, instead of spending $5 to $7 billion in 1 year, if they can spend $15 billion, maybe even 20 around there, they might have a chance. They might have a chance, honestly. And as long as AT&T and Verizon don't spend more money, I think T-Mobile will be fine. I think they'll be okay. They just need to up their spending and improve more of their towers, and actually use more of Sprint's advantage, because they bought Sprint for a reason. Yeah, I do believe so. If they can spend $15 billion, I think they should be fine, honestly. Now, it says here, T-Mobile currently is ahead of the competition for everything for 5G availability and 5G reach download speeds. Now, this is a little blurry here, but I'm going to try to read this to you guys. So right now, T-Mobile is good with everyday 5G availability. So that's a good step for T-Mobile. AT&T everyday 5G download speeds, because everyone knows that AT&T has the fastest speeds. And right here it says everyday of 5G data reliability with Verizon, because Verizon is always good with their data and coverage. They're also good with their coverage too. So we scroll down here, just last month, when the company's new rating system was integrated, AT&T is declared the nation's big winner for everyday 5G download speeds. That is obviously true, because AT&T has insane speeds even before 5G came around. And I had AT&T, their 4G and their LTE was surprisingly really fast. I remember I was getting 200 megabytes per second down, and maybe 100 something. AT&T was pretty fast. AT&T was so fast before there was unlimited data. I always went over my limit, and my dad got mad at me because I always got him overage fees and charged, and he had to pay more of the bill. So, but then they introduced unlimited, and then I paid, for my own bill myself, and it was pretty good. I enjoyed the speeds. They did slow me down, but if I went back to AT&T, I wouldn't mind, because I don't think they slow me down that much anymore. And then scroll down here. T-Mobile unsurprisingly crowned the heavyweight champion in everyday 5G availability. That is true right there. And Verizon taking for everyday 5G data reliability. That is true. AT&T had their data speeds is pretty impressive. Verizon. Their data speeds is pretty impressive. They've been working on their 4G LTE for years now, improving it, perfecting it. If they're still improving it, I'd be surprised because now everyone's focused on 5G. Maybe Verizon is focusing on their 4G LTE here and there, but it's mostly 5G that's being focused on right now. Let's scroll down here, read some info to you guys, and then scroll down more right here. Verizon widened the gap to AT&T and 5G availability after Maybell's early 2021 lead. Okay, that's some good news. Verizon is starting to, catch up to AT&T. Verizon obviously doesn't want to be, they don't want to be last place. They have to be on top. They've always been on top. Since 2011, they've been up to speed with everything going on. And if you scroll down here more of the article, down here we're going to read T-Mobile and Verizon's 5G rollouts. Yeah, this is true. They've been rolling out 5G for the longest now, and AT&T's caught up too. So all three are neck and neck. If Sprint was still here and if T-Mobile didn't buy them, they'd probably be filing for bankruptcy. Chapter, I think 11 is what it is, and it wouldn't be good. And even if Sprint was focusing on their 5G, I don't believe it would be it'd be good right now. They'd still be struggling. So I guess it's a good thing T-Mobile bought them. So we scroll down here. T-Mobile offers 5G in many parts of all these 85 cities. We're winning no less than 50 individual 5G availability battles. So T-Mobile is, catching, up slightly. I would say slightly. T-Mobile is not really doing, being all heavy investors like Verizon and AT&T. They're just, catching up the gap. If we scroll down here to this little chart, it says high everyday 5G availability market. T-Mobile is the highest right now, and down at the bottom is AT&T, and then 5G at 5. And if you scroll down here to the fastest everyday download speeds, of course AT&T is up to speed. I've been saying this many times, and I've noticed AT&T has the fastest speeds. Second to it is Verizon. I do believe Verizon will catch up eventually to AT&T, and then AT&T will start to get a little frightened, and it'll just be like a neck-and-neck battle. Those two have always been the top two contenders for carriers if you want the best speed and coverage, and that's what they offer. So if you scroll down here, Verizon added low-band nationwide component to its 5G network a long time after its arch rival, failing to strike the perfect balance between velocity and coverage to big reds. And I believe they're talking about AT&T here because they are mostly in the competition. T-Mobile, I guess they're not too worried about T-Mobile. I mean, I feel like if Verizon honestly switched to a truly priority unlimited plan, they could easily outrun T-Mobile out of the water. I do believe so. We have here another chart. So in this chart, I believe, that was a little lagging. Try to go slower here. So in this chart, everyday carrier highs, everyday 5G availability. T-Mobile ranks Texas, Verizon ranks Illinois, and AT&T, I believe that says Ohio. Yeah, that's Ohio. I thought that said Chicago. And we see another chart here. 5G availability. I wish it wasn't so blurry so we can see the I think that's a percentage. I wish it was not so blurry. And then we see another one here. So basically, it looks like they're neck and neck in trying to cover all of the United States. These are the top big states and cities that are being worked on at the moment. And I'm really glad, they're all focusing. They're actually taking 5G more serious because 4G LTE, I feel like they were on their own little world. They were competing. Don't get me wrong. They were competing. But I feel like they were focusing more on themselves and try to prove themselves were the fastest, and they weren't focused on the other competition. I don't know why I think that. I just feel like that's how it was in the 4G era, and they were perfecting everything, and then after they were trying to contact other people to switch to them, and that's how it worked. That's how I believe it is. Now we scroll down here, T-Mobile, which can easily be ranked at the bottom. This is true; they are still at the bottom at the moment. Hopefully the Sprint merger that happened, they can actually do a little bit more than doing less, is what I think they're doing. And of the 5G speed and by number of city and dominance, scroll down here. They're producing insane 195 megabytes per second everyday download speed. That is actually insane. 195 megabytes per second download speed. That is really fast, especially for T-Mobile to have. The highest 5G speed I will have in my room is 160, almost 170 megabytes per second down. That's kind of close to 195. It's just insane how like T-Mobile can have the speed, especially in my room. I'm like, wow, this is insanely fast. Like I can download something and like, let's say something is 50 megabytes per second. I could download it quick. And an astonishing 232 megabytes 5G only in Hampton Road in Virginia. Okay, so this is in Virginia. This is interesting. This is the last thing. This is an article. If the end carrier, basically T-Mobile, can hit those numbers with a much humbler trove of millimeter spectrum or or ultra capacity is what I call it. What they call it, sorry. Then Verizon, it's crystal clear once again that its strategy has a far better chance of proving successfully at striking the perfect aforementioned balance across the nationwide eventually. Okay, so what it's basically saying at the end, if T-Mobile can hit good numbers, like if T-Mobile can hit 100 to over 200 megabytes per second download or upload speed, doesn't matter, and they continue improving their top 5 gigahertz with Sprint, and they start improving their own 5G, and everything goes on track. T-Mobile does have a chance to be, a nationwide carrier, people that can actually go to and get coverage. They don't have to worry about being switched to LTE. They don't have to worry about their speeds being slowed down because they're up in a mountain, even though there's a tower several feet away. That's what it's basically saying with T-Mobile. If they can actually keep a clear route, spend more money, keep upgrading their towers and improving, and not have any issues like me, where I've been having these issues for a while now, I think T-Mobile should be okay. Honestly, very curious how T-Mobile will be from 2021 to 2024. That's honestly my prediction. I know carriers, they look far beyond the future, like 10 years from now, and I look from in 10 years as well. But because T-Mobile is having all these things and they're marketing, hyping it up like crazy and not really doing much with their network, at least not for now at least, because 5G is new and they're kind of very slow with spending and improving their towers, I'm looking to see if they can convince me to stay and be a reliable 5G and LTE carrier and still have fast speeds and download content that I want. Netflix, download an app, update my apps, download map when I want to go somewhere, not have issues, basically like that. I want T-Mobile to prove to me, let me scroll the way back up here. I want T-Mobile to prove to me that I can stay with them and not switch to AT&T or Verizon. Honestly, I can switch from whenever I want. Each carrier is not perfect. They're going to have their own flaws and issues like T-Mobile does. But at the end of the day, that's all I care about, is having, basically coverage and something I can use on my phone, not have any issues. And I will eventually be having Verizon service and AT&T service, all 3 carriers. Sooner or later, I will have all 3 carriers, and I'll be testing each other's speeds, networks, and coverage. I'll be testing LTE. I'll be testing their 5G, and it's going to be a very interesting speed test for all 3. I will literally be doing speed tests in different places all around California, and hopefully I can go to different states like Arizona. Hopefully I can go to Washington, New York, Miami, San Francisco, Oregon, Illinois, all basically into many states so I can test out their network. I'm very hyped to test them all out. So this is the news. This was their strengths and weaknesses. I really hope T-Mobile pulls through in the next 3 to 4 years. AT&T, they're pretty dominant with their speeds. If they can keep improving their coverage, they should be good. Verizon's coverage is solid. If they can keep improving their speeds, they should be good. All these guys should be good in the future. And that's pretty much about it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Turn on post notifications whenever I post a new video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next video.